All right, June 22nd workout breakdown, arm day. This follows the 12 sets and go pretty much to a T. I've fallen in love with these try by supersets. Remember, I've explained this in previous videos and in class. Like, this is not a real superset, right? A superset is two muscles in the same muscle group. Tries and biceps are not the same muscle group, as most of you are for sure aware of. But in terms of over the last couple of months, which has probably been longer than I thought, but probably longer than months. I've fallen in love with these just for the efficiency purposes of them and just how well they play off of one another. And this is just one of those things that over years and programming and writing hundreds of workouts and doing them obviously with you guys, this is just one of those things I've kind of figured out, and I think they're here to stay. And again, in 20 minutes, to give you some context here, in 20 minutes you're going to do potentially 10 sets of triceps and 10 sets of biceps without losing anything. Like it's that efficient. It's not like we're losing any type of value by doing this. There is an argument to be made that if it was just like a bicep and then just a tricep, that you would get a little bit more out of those two particular movements, because again, the fatigue won't be as much as doing two movements back to back. But in our setting, what we're trying to achieve, you know, it looks like you're going to get 20 sets, 18 sets, 16 sets, somewhere in there in 20 minutes, which is just fantastic. So you guys should be excited about this. I wrote track this on here. You should be tracking each one of these exercises individually just for clarity. Like, you don't want to track the superset in its entirety. Like, you want to track the tricep extension, the supinated curls on their own, and then track the overhead extension, the hammer curls again on their own, which I wrote, track separately as a little note right there. Of course, following the monthly emphasis, we're going to go directly into kind of a 180, and you guys are going to go into this Metcon ladder. And I just wanted to give some context to shed some light on timing on this. You should have about 23 minutes, give or take, if class is on time. To work your way through this. The 1,000-meter row being the highest option here. If you choose that column, it'll be 3,000 total meters rowed, which I always take a 2-minute split time as kind of like the median, or the average for the entire class. Now, I do think, if I'm being completely honest, 2-minute split time is probably a little bit more aggressive than average. But it's just really easy math, and I do think it's something that's attainable for most everybody if you really focus on the rower, work on your technique, and it's something that you want to get better at. So I think it's fair to use a 2-minute split time, to clock a lot of the stuff out. So again, under the assumption that a 2-minute split time is the average, you're looking at about 12 minutes of rowing of the 23 minutes, and the movements that make up the remainder of time are not movements that are time consuming. So the ground to shoulder, even if you are going heavy, which is kind of the expectation here, is that you can move through these pretty fluently. Remember, using your entire body to clean this ball up and over your shoulder. It's not a movement that slows you down or bogs you down necessarily, or at least in nature. Chin-ups, the rep count's just not high. It starts 2 and it ascends. The ground to shoulder starts at 20 and descends. So really the biggest factor of this entire thing is just going to be the accumulation of fatigue, because you don't really ever stop moving. And then again, I think when you get off, a distance row into something that isn't a full body movement like a ground to shoulder, and then, you got to get up onto a pull up bar under the assumption you're doing chin ups, and your biceps are going to be pretty fatigued going back to the rower, especially as we work our way down this list. It's just going to be the accumulation of fatigue, and can you maintain that output that you had originally on the rower. But in terms of time, I don't think there's anything in here that's going to cause a hiccup and make you take 60 seconds or 90 seconds of break, or where you're going to dramatically slow down as you go. Now, last thing, the chin-ups or the TRX bicep curl, I put that in there. I know a lot of people aren't overly comfortable on the chin-up bar. This rep count is really low. Again, starting at 2 and ending at 10 isn't anything crazy. So I think there's an argument to be made that you'll get more out of doing the TRX bicep curl than you will in the chin-ups if you're using, a lot of bands. So if you're somebody using green, purple, any combination of green, like I would just go to the bicep curl. Again, because I think you'll just get more out of this than you would using that amount of bands for this small amount of volume. So I think if you're using green, you're kind of out there. You go to the TRX, use that, get more out of it, of this low volume. And honestly, if you're using like any combination of like, I want to say purple and black or higher, like you should just go to the TRX. Just because, again, it's a lot quicker. You can move through it faster, and I don't think you're losing much with using that amount of bands by going to the TRX. So I think it's safe to say anything with a combination of purple, black, and up, right, which includes just a green by itself, I think you should go to the TRX. So anyways, great workout. I'm excited for this workout. I love these supersets right here. Hopefully you guys do as well.